Dear sisters, I have a big problem and do not know how to go about it. I need help. I'm a married man with a very helpful wife, emphasizing on very. I am impregnated another lady who, after a month or two, called to tell me that she has terminated it. Months later, her uncle called me to say that her scan shows she was 6 months pregnant. The pregnant lady's family scolded her for not terminating the pregnancy, especially when she knew I was married, and even asked her to abort the baby. Now, my only challenge is, how do I tell my wife? I need someone to talk to. Thank you. And he left his number and actually said, yeah, let us reach out to him when we read this. And we're reading it, so we're going to reach out to him, definitely. Ladies, it's Valentine's Day, but someone is out there thinking about how to handle his issue with a helpful wife and a pregnant girlfriend. Sicho.
First of all, I'm curious, when he was reading his vow, did he at any point see you can go out there and impregnate any other woman? Did he come to ask for our permission when he was going out there to impregnate another woman? Why is he asking for our advice now?
Let's be nice.
I'm trying to be nice, but
we don't judge.
You just came back.
We listen, we don't judge.
As for me, I listen and I judge. Life isn't fair. First of all, you are a married man. The onus is lying on you to do right by whatever commitments you've made to whoever you married. Now, I am beginning to find this distasteful when men sit on panels or wherever and they speak so boldly about their wives and yet go behind their wives' backs to do all kinds of things. You are busy telling us about how supportive and helpful your wife is. Then why are you busy cheating on her? This is double standards, if you ask me, because you are busy cheating on your wife and then now you are telling us when she knew you were married. The woman is not married. The onus is not lying on her to do right by anyone.
Yeah.
She's living her life.
Yeah.
You are the one who is married and shouldn't be sleeping with someone else outside of your wife.
And even impregnated the person.
And you've gone ahead to impregnate the person and now you are coming to seek for advice. I think he's a very dishonorable person. He lacks integrity to start with.
Yes, he's watching us, you know that, right?
Yes. But sometimes you need to call a spade, and sometimes you need that tough love. You know, so that yes, thank you. So that people realize that actions have consequences, and sometimes just because you feel a certain way or you are now being sorrowful and all that does not mean the consequences will not come. Even God, when you sin, the Bible says wait until marriage before you go and have sex. If you go and have sex before marriage, the consequences will come. You will get pregnant, you have children by somebody who may not end up marrying you. It's just the fact of life. And unfortunately, that's where he finds himself now. Now, as to whether how we should advise him on what to tell his wife or how he should go about telling his wife. A spade is a spade, not a big fork, unfortunately. So he just has to find a way, not a big spoon. He just has to find a way, sit the woman down and tell her the truth. Truth is only once. And hopefully, well, statistics prove that, hopefully this helps him. Statistics show that women are more forgiving when it comes to issues to do with infidelity, etc. So he's on the good side of the tangent.
For how long?
For as many times as you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. So he's on the right side of the tangent in that I don't think, especially if he has kids with his wife, I don't think his wife is necessarily going to ask for a divorce just based on the mere fact that he is having a child.
You never know.
Another woman. Well, it would be a rare case scenario, but for the 90% of women that are out there, they are not going to get up and leave their marriage just because you've impregnated someone else. These are just mere facts. And so he should find a nice way to tell the wife the truth, because that child who is in the mix, who is innocent as it could be, needs to be taken care of, needs to know that there's daddy somewhere, there's mommy somewhere. Even if he's not going to grow up in a home where the two parents are living together, he is still going to have the benefits of both parents, and that's necessary for every child's upbringing. And for me, that's where it is most important in this situation. I don't care about how he's going to tell his wife necessarily. So, fortunately or unfortunately, he finds himself already in hot waters. He has to now gather the courage, the same courage he gathered to go and have sex outside of his marriage. He needs that courage again in this instance to
break it to the wife.
break it to the wife.
You can't hide it.
You can't hide it because pregnancy is going to come out after a couple of. It's already 6 months. It's a matter of 1 or 2 more months for it to show.
Yeah,
and
it might
you
be
don't want
showing
a
in some
situation
people.
where, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want a situation where this girl comes to your house where you and your wife live, and then now somebody else is the one breaking the news to her. It will be honorable that you rather call her, sit her down, apologize, show remorse, and let her know that this is what you have done. In most cases, I must say, women are forgiven when they can realize that you are remorseful and you are willing to make a change for the betterment of the relationship. I think that's where a lot of men falter. So most men are apologizing, but they are not ready to make the change.
Exactly. I was going to ask you, like, when you look at this situation, do you think, he just said he asked her to abort. So if she had aborted, there's a possibility that he would have continued the relationship with her.
Exactly.
You understand? Now that he's going to tell his wife, what do you think is going to come out of that relationship? Do you think he's going to stop cheating?
Well, that's what the wife...
Or he's now going to say, okay, you know what, now she's in the picture. It's time for us to have a poly family.
It depends on what finalization he comes to with his wife, because I think some wives may not mind, depending on how even that is painted to them.
She's the helpful one.
Yes, she's been painted to us already as the helpful one. So let's see how it goes. You know this person best, and you know if you would want to have a polygamous marriage, and she's going to be open to that idea or not. But all that being said, I think at the end of the day, the onus is lying on him to be the first person to tell his wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Rosie, in so many cases, especially here in Africa, because we live here and we've heard so many things, there are scenarios where men actually have kids out of their marriages. Like there's a whole family, but the wife never knows. Do you think it's advisable in this situation where he will say, okay, you know what, I can still handle it. Maybe she lives in Adenta and we live somewhere in Dansoma and they will never meet. You know they have that kind of, or she lives in Adenta and probably this one lives in Cape Coast, Tema, or even maybe out of Africa. Do you think it's something he should do, not tell the wife?
No, not at all. I would not side with that, because gradually the world is becoming a global village. Accra is even too small. Even the world is too small. You know, I've had instances where you travel and you think that, oh, nobody knows you here, and then from nowhere someone's like, oh, Rosie, sister, and then you realize that, look, a lot of people know you way beyond the boundaries that you think. So what it means is that issues like that would definitely come out. There was a time when internet didn't allow for communication and all of that. So it was very easy for people to hide some of these things. Because before you find out, you probably need to pick a car, travel, trek so many villages to go and find out and ascertain and probably talk to elders before you can see some of these things. But increasingly, it's just a phone.
Yeah.
Somebody takes a picture and then evidence is transmitted over miles. So I don't think it's advisable. But what I want to say is that, especially because it's the man who is sending the message in, is that, you see, men, stop lying to your wives. We've said this several times. If, for instance, you want a polygamous marriage, let your wife know that you want a polygamous marriage so that they don't marry you according to the ordinance, or you don't have a civil wedding. So you have a traditional wedding, and let your wife know that you are open for more options in marriage. It's allowed. But when you lie to your wife,
it's betrayal.
That I want to be with you for the rest of my life.
You mean only?
You and you only. It becomes betrayal. Number two, people think that the decision of whether to get pregnant or not to get pregnant, protecting yourself, I agree, it solely lies with the woman. Not solely, it largely lies with the woman, because the woman is the one doing the carrying.
It's her body.
It's her body.
Her body, her choice.
But as a married man, even if you want to play, you should know that you should play in a way that you don't bring STDs to your family. Exactly. You should play in a way that you're not surprised with a baby. So the least you can do, even in your moments of weakness,
is wear a condom.
Is wear a condom. to protect your family. Now, the moment you are able to sleep with another woman unprotected and, you know, unconcerned, it means that you have no respect for your home, you have no respect for your wife, you have no respect for the vows that you said to your wife at the point of getting. You have no respect for anything. At that moment, you are just a selfish being, thinking about yourself, how to satisfy yourself, with absolutely no regard as to how to even do the minimum to protect your home. Because as a married man, I don't see why you should let yourself go to the extent of impregnating another woman. Because listen, what that does is that it breaks the fabric of the home. Your wife is never going to trust you again. She may accept the child, like Ticho said, because most of the time, women, especially their children, you don't want a broken home for your children. So eventually they'll go like, okay, let's assume the man is Akwesi with the Fakulani Briefie. So they would, host the child. But then it also depends on your relationship with the mother of the child.
Yes.
Are you taking the child to just take care of the child, or you are taking the child to keep the woman as a mistress?
Or you are taking care of the child and also taking care of the mother?
No, I don't have a problem if you're taking care of the child and providing basic necessities for the mother, but are you still continuing that relationship? Is she still an emotional addendum to your marriage?
And most of the, most of the time they cause it.
Yes.
They'll tell you, don't see anybody. It's my child and you are my woman still.
Yes, and I'm saying that, so is that woman still going to be an emotional attachment to you? Is she still going to, oh, I'm going to see Asume's mother, the mother called me and I have to be there, she's my child's mother, and then the next thing you know, you are messing up your family's psychological well-being for another woman. So I need him to understand the gravity of what he's done. If he understands the gravity of what he's done, then he will be thinking about hiding it. And I'm happy he's trying to figure out how to break it to his wife. Now, there are two ways. Depending on the communication you have with your wife. If it's good and it's apt, you can go to her like the way our parents taught us, as dawn. No, seriously, because at dawn, you see, you are emptied of a lot of things. And your spirit man, your physical man are sort of like in tune. So you can go out and say, look, my wife, I have done something wrong. I will need your forgiveness. And I can understand if you're not willing to forgive me. But I really need it. This is what I've done, and come clean. If you think that your wife, even though she's helpful and everything, she won't tolerate such nonsense, then you can go with somebody she respects. Go and report yourself to an elder that both of you respect in the family, and let the elder call her and break the news to her. Abia, Ferrier for the elder would get her to sort of like tone down her reaction.
A 2025 woman?
He said?
A 2025 woman.
No, hold on. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said maybe. But then again, whether the woman accepts your apology or not, whether she accepts the child or not, know that you're going to be indebted to her for life. And this is something you have to deal with.
In what sense?
It means that, look, she's going to be questioning every move you make. When you are late from work, why are you late? Where did you go? Who are you talking to? You are chatting, you have been on your phone for 3 hours. Who are you chatting with? She's going to start
She's lost something.
She's lost something
for you.
So I want you to know that in all of this, you have lost something in your family. And it's your fault. I'm happy that you are willing to step out to the plate and actually tell your wife. Your problem is how to tell her. I've given you two possibilities or two options you can use to tell her. But know that even though you tell her and she even forgives you, there's always a price to pay. So be willing to pay the price. And one of it is that whatever that baby mama is to you, it ceases from now.
Yeah.
Whatever emotional
except you are ready to destroy your family.
Except you are ready to destroy your family. If you really love and cherish your family, it should strictly be about the baby and nothing else. That's all I have to say.
All right. Olivia?
They said it all. Now I don't even know what to add. Do you know, something just crossed my mind while Rosie was talking. You know, what if he was that kind of husband who pretends to be a perfect husband? His phone is available. He doesn't give you any reason to think he's cheating on you.
No, and like Stefan.
Oh, God forbid.
That's why I said no. Like he's very open with you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. And then, bam, something like this.
It's
you
psychological
spring up
damaging.
something like this on your wife.
It just came to your mind, right?
Like it just crossed my mind
Yeah.
that, you know, because then
He might be perfect. He might be that perfect husband. She might be going around saying, my husband, he can never do this.
Because some of the men,
he
based
can
on
never
how
do
they
this.
treat you at home, you can
Yeah.
tell that.
Oh, my husband.
maybe
Oh,
he's
this
cheating
my
on
husband.
you
I don't like
anytime.
He's just
the
a
way.
bad,
Yeah.
you
some men
know.
will flaunt the
Yeah.
fact that, I mean, if he can't deal with me cheating,
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah.
Like he would
And
dress
so
up in
person
front
like
of
that,
you
yeah.
and go and come. So at least you
have a
have
fair
to be
idea.
breaking. You know what you are up
At
against.
some point, you know what
If
to
it's-
do.
If it's church that you go and you pray, God
Yeah.
help me save
At some
my
point, you know when
husband.
to exit.
But what if he is a perfect guy and then now he's
That's heartbreaking.
troubled?
That's heartbreaking.
You know, but I'm also troubled about how he described his wife as a very helpful. So,
Helpful.
is there a bit of a background story? Did he feel obliged to be with her? Like, it's like how many people describe their wives as very helpful?
I love my wife.
I know. Or my wife
Maybe-
is very loving, caring. She takes care of my children. She
Yeah.
takes care of me.
You know,
But how many men
but you know,
describe their wives
when you
as
say,
And that's the only
helpful?
word.
the first thing that
That's
came
the
to my
only
mind
word.
when he said helpful was probably she's the one handling finance. She's the one that has the higher finances in the house.
It could
She's
be-
the one that provides stuff.
Or she could just be supportive.
Very supportive.
But for
Super
me-
supportive.
For me, it could have included other things. But
Like
my
a
wife
sweet woman.
is very helpful.
Okay.
Meaning that it's almost like an indirect way of saying my wife is good, but I still cheated because he has not told us why. It's almost like telling us indirectly that he cheated because it was not his fault.
Or probably she's not fun.
Oh, she's not fun. Like I'm just wondering. Anyways, going back to all of this, Sicho has blasted you. She has given you
Advice.
two
Yeah.
ways to tell your wife. However it is that you want to look at it, my dear, you have to tell your wife. Like Rosie said, she's going to be very heartbroken. She'll wonder, based on your own description, I've helped, I've done everything. Maybe it's 1,000 styles you want. She has given it to you. She's very helpful, but still you're not satisfied. So know that at the end of the day, it's not going to be easy for her to accept. Whether you bring Pope John Paul to come and tell her, whether you tell her yourself, however it is that you tell her, know that that solid foundation that you used to have together in your marriage is cracked.
Yeah.
It's like a mug that has been cracked. Even if you tape it, you would still see the crack in between, and it'll take a lot of time for you to rebuild trust. You have to be even more open.
Sometimes you might never rebuild it.
That's why I was like, it will be extra difficult for your wife if you seem to be that kind of husband who is very open, who is very, very in your face.
Or she has no child.
Helpful. He didn't
that
say.
would
He would
be
have
so
stated.
bad.
You
That
know,
would be
he
worse.
probably would have stated that, because my wife didn't have a child, that is why.
But I doubt that's the case
But I
here because
think
he
it is.
already told the girl to abort it.
Abort it.
Yes.
Because he wants to clean
Yes.
his tracks.
So I
If it
don't
was a
think- I don't
situation
think
where
they-
he and his wife didn't have any child, he wouldn't have stated that she should abort it.
Really?
He would not have.
Yes.
Typical
He would
men.
He would not have. So that's why I'm saying that however it is that you tell her, depending on your attitude, how it was like, this woman is shattered.
Yeah.
So you have to be extra patient with her. You have to take it from scratch. If it's dating that you date, you have to understand that she will be angry. She will give you attitude. She won't want to even sleep on the same bed with you. Probably she went to hospital to treat some STI that you brought to her that she didn't even know because she thought you were faithful. Like, she'll be looking at a lot of things. She will see you differently. She can't even pray for you at this time if she's probably is the prayerful type. It's going to be very difficult. But you caused it, so you have to be patient in all of this. If it means that you have to help rewire her, if you people have to go for counseling, be in it and show that you are dedicated. You'll be there on time. You pick her up from work. You both go for counseling. This is post-marital counseling. You need it. It's urgent, and you guys have to devise a way whereby you will disconnect. And it's so sad because already women are struggling when their husbands are cheating. Now you even have a reason that is going to bond you and this other woman together for life. Graduation ceremony, this woman is going to be there.
Baby's birthday.
When the child is getting married.
When the child is sick.
Baby's
Engagement
birthday.
so far.
When you're
the child
sick,
is
yeah.
sick.
Come on, we need you
The
right
child's
now.
birthday,
Yeah.
Maybe, God forbid, something happens, you need to donate blood. You are the person. Something is always going to bring you two together. That's
She's gonna be in your face.
That is going to, like a saw.
Yeah.
It's going to sort of
Always.
Yeah.
mess up your wife's emotions. So you see that, okay, maybe she'll start healing. She'll start forgiving you. Then bam. She calls.
He probably needs to pray for the other girl to get married.
Like, it's a never-ending curse, never-ending cycle. So you have
Except
to
she gets
figure out-
married.
And but
Even
even
that,
that,
even
would
that.
she? It's not easy. So me, the only thing I can say is that unfortunately, this child is not like pencil that you've written that you can erase
Yeah.
God
and take
forbid.
back. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
This child is not going in.
And she's 6 months, so even abortion is even up
it's
the table.
not-
Yeah.
up for grasp. And don't forget, in all of this wahala, don't forget that child did not ask to be here.
Exactly.
So whatever it is that you need to do, let your wife know. If at the end of every month, when they pay you, you've decided you are using 2,000, you want to momo it to her, momo it to her. Any upkeep, anything. But I wish there was somebody else who was almost an intermediary between you and the girl, just because
Unfortunately
of the
because the father of the child needs to be present in that child's
During
life
preg-
as well.
even during the pregnancy.
Yes. So
Exactly.
I don't recommend just momoing the person and
And
disappearing
then
from
that's
the
it.
person's
Finish
life.
London. Let me land. In all of this, right, you're going to find yourself in the middle of making your wife happy and making your maybe in this instance, I'm not even going to talk about the woman because you're already
child.
upset with her
Yeah.
that she didn't abort. But I'm going to talk about the child. So you're going to find yourself in the middle. While you are busy trying to please your wife and tell your wife that you are Superman, you are no longer going to do this, your baby is at stake. Your child is at stake.
Yeah.
The child needs your attention. So it's either you beg your wife to have the child once the child is born, have the child. I don't know.
Some people
Some
subscribe
people
to that.
do that. Whereby, okay, now the wife
people
has
do that.
admitted it is your fault. Your mother we can arrange for you to see your mom. But in the meantime, let me have the child come in. I will raise the child as part
I know
of
someone
my
who's-
children.
I know
God
someone who's
forbid.
done that.
God
When-
forbid, dear,
God
God forbid.
It won't happen in any life.
There's some
If I'm
people
that
who-
girl, I'm not giving up my child to a woman
Wow.
I don't know.
Let me land. There's some
there-
people
I
who
know
that has
life
worked for
situations
them.
that has happened
You
where after the child was about 6-8 months or something, the man managed to convince the baby mama for the
Okay,
child. But then-
convincing is
but
the
then,
right
yes,
word, perhaps.
Convince, yes.
Yeah.
Saying force. You have to have
Yeah,
that
it's a
conversation.
dialogue. It's
Yeah.
a dialogue.
It's
Because
not
especially
force
when
them.
the woman is not
She's not married. She probably wants to be
Financially buoyant.
financially buoyant and financially sound. But the thing is that they manage in such a way that the child still has access to
Access
the
to the
child.
mom.
Okay.
So it's not like they are saying that you can't see the child, but for things like going to school, managing the
Yeah.
child's feed and everything, the man wants to consolidate everything in one home.
Okay.
And most of the time, the man wants the child to bond with the other children that he already
Exactly, the
has. So they know
siblings.
themselves as siblings.
Okay.
So they do that to foster it.
But this is all subject to the wife.
The wife
saying,
and how
okay,
accommodating
The other
she
woman
is.
also
Yes.
agrees that I'm giving up my child.
Exactly, to
Yeah, that's
you.
why I said
comfort.
convincing.
So, exactly.
So
Yeah.
he has to be in the middle of all of this because at
And
the end of
liaise
the day,
properly.
it's the bed. That is how he laid it. So
Yeah,
he has to
Because
be-
when you look at it,
I want
that
to say
might be her
something.
only child. Let's
Yes.
say God
Yeah.
said that's your only child.
Yes, but I
like,
want to say something.
What if she also wants to get married?
But I want
Again.
to use this
And she wants to live a
opportunity.
life.
Or travel or something. Yeah.
I want to use this opportunity to say something to men. You see, men, when you even think that your wife may even look at a certain man twice, look at how you behave. You are upset. You are worried.
you are dying
You are
inside.
dying inside all over the place. And yet, you people have all manner of relationships with other women and you expect the woman to be fine. I just want to tell you that the heart that you have
The same,
is the same heart that the woman has.
The same color,
The
red.
hurt that you feel
Is red.
is the same hurt that the woman feels. The only difference is that society has indoctrinated women to believe that we can handle that kind of pain.
Can't.
And it's normal for men to do these things. And society has sort of taught men that you are the man of the house.
Keep
you
on
can
doing
do
it.
and be forgiven. And that is the biggest lie on the planet. A lot of women are bleeding.
Yeah.
It's the
They
African
are
society.
bleeding. Yes, a lot of women are bleeding and they can't say it because unfortunately
And sometimes they can't
your
even
own
leave.
mother,
Yeah.
your own family will tell you, is he taking care of the children? And then sits there. Do you know what me I went through?
Yeah.
So let me just take this point to address men that listen, anything that when your wife does to you, you are not happy about it, just know that when you do to your wife, it also hurts her.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break and then we will be right back.